Yeah, Frank made this for me, so I'm going to be traveling around with a portable Chestahedron.
Not bad, Frank.
Not bad, not
It
bad.
took like less than 5 minutes.
Less than 5 minutes. There we go, Frank.
Lincoln proved my point. The kids get this blank, it's blank, and then they put in whatever they want. And here's a whole wall of them. Oh, I think it's great. These kids get to do this, and they get to know about money and how it's designed, and the basis of it. They can add whatever they want, which I think is good.
He has been a teacher for how many years? 40 years or something? He's used to.
Yeah,
Went to many places to
being
talk and
documented.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Right.
I have done that. Yeah, a lot. I didn't set out to do that. It just sort of came.
You weren't looking for it.
No, no, I wasn't. Couldn't stop. It was so. There was so much enthusiasm came out of me, so that's never left. Still there. I can't wait to get home to start doing more work because I know other things I need to do that are still coming. It's nice to have that in your life.
Are things coming constantly?
If I allow it to go on constantly, it will. But I don't allow it to do that because I still have kind of my own life. You know what I mean? It represents the heart of a blockchain. This logo is just not a pretty design. There's a deep meaning behind it, and that's very strong in its appeal. Once you're around it and understand it, that's even better. I think it's being more and more exposed to people, you know, in the blockchain and the people that I meet. It's the newest and most powerful geometric structure of our century. There's nothing like it.
Honest Abe. Any thoughts on Honest Abe?
No, I like him. I think he was definitely a mature. He's what a man, would strive to be like. And the decisions that he had to make, what he went through is amazing, and went through the hardship of being a human on a big scale. That's what makes it beautiful.
It's
really-
the rocks that make it beautiful.
Yeah, some of them are really big, some are real skinny, some of them kind of go downhill, some of them kind of uphill. It's just beautiful. And that wasn't planned. They just tried to make the house. All those bricks are all the same. The lines are all horizontal,
Yeah.
right? It's not as natural as that little building. This was more found, more open, more free. This isn't, which is okay, but those old guys had it they had some good experiences. Puerto Rico. That's great to see Puerto Rico there. And right next to us, the Philippines. That's great, huh? Isn't that great?
That was the first thing you saw.
Yeah, first thing. Watch this. Oh, come over, I want to sit down. No, I'm just
He's a jokester. They were gonna move for you.
I know it. They were going to. They're so nice. Yeah, we're going to go to Burning Man.
What excites you about Burning Man coming up?
They're going to have this big structure there, which is what I want to see and be around. So, and also, you know, Nikki tells me about all the things that I can have my teeth worked on, and there's a bunch of stuff that that she described, which sounds interesting. So I'm interested.
What Burning Man is like you get these really creative people that just need this outlet, and they have this professional world in, you know, the real world, but when you bring it to Burning Man, it's like whatever your dreams are, whatever you want to create, it's endless possibilities. So you just have like this alternate reality of things. So that's why they say welcome home, because it's really, you know, you're coming back home because this is where you can actually just be yourself and just goof around and just be free and just be kind and open. And yeah, I mean, it's a spectacular place. It's so hard for me to describe everything that you could possibly do there.
I can see how listening to Nikki talk about Burning Man.
I'm ready to go.
Can we go tomorrow?
There may be a Chestahedron there that's 55.5 feet high. Oh, that would be really fun for me to see. I didn't expect this, you know. No, not at all. But they're making it in China out of stainless steel, so they're not going to burn it. They're going to move it around the country, which that's really nice.
What does that mean for the country when they start seeing Chestahedron?
Well, they're gonna, one of the things that Chestahedron brings is wonder. We need wonder in our life. We think everything's done. We think there isn't anything left. There's a lot left. And the wonder and the enthusiasm that if this form can bring some people into that realm, oh, that's great. Burning Man seems to be a place where I can do that. Right, Nikki?
Yes. He knows I wasn't paying attention, sir.
Oh, that's a great looking duck. He knows where to go. Fresh water, peanuts, everything is perfect for him. Now I realize this is where Forrest Gump was. And his girlfriend was over there in the pond. And that was very interesting how they brought love into that movie. Yeah, it's honest Abe. He's an example of the human being and what the human being can do. He took a polarity and he balanced it. And the trouble is the balance isn't working too well today, but it's not supposed to. I think it's the way it's supposed to be. If you look at his face before he died, it really shows the human experience and what we go through here on this planet. And he did a good job.
What was the polarity?
Well, the polarity between being free and not being free, being a human being or not being a human being, being controlled by others or being under your own control. And it says in this temple, as in the hearts of the people. It's all about the heart. The heart is the only organ in our body that's designed around balancing polarities. We set up these situations that are polar opposites, and I think we do that so that we can develop our heart. And it's much like an interval between two notes. The interval is the place where all the life is. And balancing these polarities takes the life force that we all have. We just get stuck. It's not all happy, 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 and all sad, 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 sad. You know? It's another polarity. You can't go through this whole life and be happy, ha ha ha. But you can't also go through it and be sad and depressed. Because there's so much here on earth to do to balance those two polarities. And that's where the life is, that's where our life is. Not one end or the other.
So you stay in the middle all the time.
Well, it's not that you have to be in the middle all the time. In other words, you have to always be in the interval. You have to be in the interval, but not be fixed. Because if you get fixed in the interval, that's just as bad as being fixed in the polarity. The interval is the human experience that we have to go through, and what goes through that is the heart. What actions we have, they're connected to with our thinking. And to balance the thinking and what we do, that's the heart. That's what the heart does. So the heart's not all about being loving and loving everything on the planet. Love this, love that, love. No, it's not a flower thing. It's not a flower age. It's a balancing age, one where we can balance the flower and we can balance the seed. We can't just be always blossoming, okay? The more conscious we are of what the heart does, the more conscious we have as human beings. So it's not about being conscious in the head or in what we do, but in our soul life. And our soul life is based on the human heart. It's not a pump, not some mechanical thing that lets the blood go. Pushes the blood through. No, it's not that. A lot of these spiritual beings are always pictured inside where two circles come together, and it forms root 3. It forms a vesica, and that vesica is even here, and where the obelisk is. The obelisk sits here in the center of Washington, and in the center around that obelisk is the vesica, and that's where our heart basically is. When it balances polarities. We all have a soul life, okay? And we don't want to get stuck. We don't want to have our soul life get stuck in some polarity. We need to go to the polarity, but not get stuck. One of the things I've noticed about this statue I've never seen before in Rio. It has two columns, and both columns are turning in opposite directions. That's what the heart does. One hand on one of the columns is open. The other hand is closed. So that's a polarity, one of openness, one of closeness. And who's between it? Lincoln. He has one foot that's stepping forward, and the other step that's stepping back. So that's going into the three-dimensional world. It's going backwards and forwards. That's also another polarity. So I see that, and even his vest below his tie is forming half of a vesica. I think these are very interesting because this is all about polarities of the statue and the human being in between, Lincoln. That's what I see. I've never seen this before, where I can walk up and actually see these columns and the hands and the feet.
Well, hey, all right. Well, look at that smile.
You know what was really cool is that you interviewed me before I went in the temple. And I told you all about polarities in the heart and everything, right? And then I went inside and then I saw the things I was talking about. How can that be? It came after. Lincoln proved my point. He's a really good example. And I can also think of other bad examples, but he's a good one.
You know, because I've heard these stories from people about him wiping out a whole indigenous community and such, and there's all this stigma around it, but you didn't talk about that at all.
No, that's a polarity. And he has to balance that. And he did in his own heart. I'm sure he did. But that's one of the things that he had to go to that extreme. That's an extreme, isn't it?
So that was his transformation on the planet.
Yeah. That's right. So it's an interesting story, isn't it? Interesting to look at history in this way between polarities.
But we're all trying.
Yeah, we are. That's why we're here.
So is the unconditional love part is not to judge the process when we're
Unconditional love is natural, but polarities aren't. Well, they can be natural, but most of them are self-created by what there is. Unconditional love is the polarities come into balance unconditionally. There's no condition on the balance. There's just soul life. And that soul life can develop by bending, by bending between them, between the two polarities. Because in the bend, which is turning the soul, is where the opposites start to create. And then once they're opposites and they're creating opposites, they have to go back. That's what the heart does. See, the heart goes back and forth in less than 1 second. That's life. That's the life. That's the interval. See, there's an interval between birth and death. And that interval is life. And that's what we're trying to do, is to balance that interval. The heart helps us. The blood helps us. We are basically associated with the blood. Not with the kidneys, not with the liver, not with our senses, seeing and so forth, you know. You don't, hearing or tasting, no, sorry. I'll see you soon.